Okay, hello everybody and welcome to my next video. Today is a slightly more serious video than normal, which you can probably tell because I finally bought a microphone. But yes, so the topic of today's video is going to be me quitting Second Life, and basically what's going to happen now. So, yes, let's get into it. After sporadically creating both in-game content and YouTube tutorials geared towards Second Life for the better part of 2 years, I finally decided to quit the game. This is for a number of reasons, which I shall explain to you now, before finally delving into what my plans are going forwards, as well as my plans for the future of this YouTube channel. So why am I quitting? Well, the primary reason is that I feel that the game has been holding me back from expanding my 3D design skill set. Second Life runs on an extremely old hardware model, and as such has huge limitations on what its users can actually achieve. Things such as model texturing and animations have to be fairly rudimentary due to a lack of modern support and integrated solutions. In addition to this, I also feel that it's been limiting me creatively due to me having to chase trends in order for my brand to stay relevant, which is something that has led to me burning out multiple times as I've tried to meet event deadlines and create the best products possible for my customers. I know that this may sound a little egotistical, but I promise you I don't mean it that way. I love all my customers and everyone that has supported me throughout my time on the Second Life platform, be that monetarily or otherwise. However, I feel like I just cannot keep up with the expectations any longer. I've been unable to work at my own pace for a long time now, so I just feel like quitting whilst I'm ahead is the best thing I can do right now. The second reason for me quitting is bullying. I've been treated pretty badly by certain people throughout my time on the Second Life platform, something I had not anticipated at all when I first came over from IMVU, which was the first online social platform I'd ever really used, and a place where I spent a lot of my time over the last almost decade throughout my youth. It's also the place where I first learned about Second Life. Unlike in the case of IMVU though, Second Life, it seems to me at least, doesn't just exist within Second Life. It also relies heavily on other platforms such as Facebook, Flickr, Discord, and Instagram due to it not having a universal mobile platform. So in order to interact with friends when you aren't logged into Second Life, you'd have to create an account on one of these other platforms. Now, due to my only having been on one other immersive 3D social platform, namely IMVU, before joining Second Life, I guess I could be called naive, as I didn't realise I should create a brand new Facebook account for my, quote, SLFB, and instead opted to just add people as friends on my real account. This account had my real name on it, due to me having been reported by someone for having a fake name previously, which was actually just the name of my favourite K-pop idol from back when I was really into K-pop as a teen. Anyway, this fact ended up being used against me when I was essentially doxed by some vindictive Second Life players who didn't like certain things that I'd said or opinions that I'd had. This is when I found out about a site called Virtual Secrets, commonly also referred to as Second Life Secrets or just SL Secrets. This site is, in essence, a slanderous gossip site where there exists no fact-checking and anyone can basically submit anything. As I found out, people had been submitting screenshots from my Facebook account that featured my real name and making horrid accusations about me. Alongside this, people within the SL Facebook sphere had started spreading gossip about me, and when someone decided one day that they'd label me a, quote, copybotter, which is someone who unlawfully steals other people's Second Life creations, this only further brought me down, as it was not in any way true. I'm actually someone who has always taken a firm stand against copybotting, and have tried to get friends and other creators that I associate with not to do it as best as I could. Therefore, when false claims were thrown around about me, of all people, supposedly being a copybotter, it truly hurt me to think that someone would take it upon themselves to be so inflammatory without any real cause other than just not liking me. Finally, the actual in-game sales events themselves. In order to be recognised in the sales system in Second Life, one has to rely heavily upon events in order to climb the popularity scale and gain recognition. These events basically function like real-life fairs, where creators can pay for a booth and sell their wares to a broader audience than if they were just selling independently in their own store. However, unlike in real life, it seems that a lot of the event owners in Second Life have little to no real business expertise, and do not understand how to treat others when conducting business. Gossip and personal relationships take precedence, whilst real talent is pushed to the wayside. As such, I ended up missing out on a great deal of opportunities due to not wanting to engage in social climbing or brown-nosing, or just pretending to be someone I'm not. Ultimately, I suspect that this is the thing that, had I not quit now whilst I'm ahead, might have led to my brand's downfall or waning popularity, which is a bit of a harrowing thought if I can be perfectly honest. The idea that I'd have to mould myself into someone that I'm not, and basically provide lip service to a group of self-proclaimed elites in order to be given a chance to earn money in this soul-crushing system was just not something that I could bring myself to do. Especially seeing as the monetary reward would not have justified this trade-off in the slightest. So, with all that being said, I decided that I no longer wanted to work in this environment. Yes, this means that I have to forego a lot of the friendships that I've formed over the last 2 years, as well as sever many of my connections, but this is the price I'm willing to pay in the name of inner peace. I just couldn't keep forcing myself through the motions when it was making me suffer on the inside. This isn't a decision I've come to lightly either. Before I stepped away from the platform, I'd been considering the idea of quitting for around 8 full months, so I'd definitely weighed up the pros and cons and had done my research. In the end, it just seemed like, if not the right thing to do, then the best thing to do for me. I don't often do things purely for myself, without first taking others into account. But this was one of the times where I had to switch off that part of myself that found it wrong to prioritise my own mental sanctity, and instead just say that enough's enough. I hope that my explanation has made at least a bit of sense to you, and I'm sorry if it seems a bit airy or weird. However, the decision I have come to is a final one. In the month or so since I've quit Second Life, I found myself feeling truly free for the first time in a very long time. Free to make decisions for myself, without having to first think how they'll reflect on me or my work. It's extremely liberating, and I realise now is something that I've needed to do for a very long time. So what does this mean for the future of my creative pursuits, as well as my YouTube channel? Now that I get to choose the direction I want things to go in, I'd like to continue providing Blender and other creative media-oriented guides and tutorials on my channel, just in a more generalised way that doesn't specifically relate to Second Life or any other game. I'd also like to start trying to upload on a much more regular basis. I know I've said this before, but I mean it this time. Some of these uploads will be guides like before, but some might just be things like speed meshing or speed drawings. I do also enjoy drawing a lot, but never really had a medium to share this. I'm not very good at social media management, so I've severely neglected my Instagram over the years, which is also something I'd like to change and improve upon. So, if this change in direction means that you choose not to continue following my creative journey, then I'd just like to say thank you for staying with me up until now. But to those of you that may want to stick around, thank you, and I hope you enjoy what I create for you in the future. And finally, if you made it this far into this extremely long and weird video, then thank you. I'll see you in the next one, probably much sooner than you'd expect.